Yes, I can. What about you?
I can hear you loud and clear. How are you today?
I'm fine. What about you?
I'm really good, really good. This is the last class that I'm having with
Yeah.
VIP English students because you will have a TAT holiday in the
Yeah.
upcoming 2 weeks. Okay, so what will you do in the upcoming 2 weeks? Okay, anything special? What will you do?
Uh, I think that I rest 2 days I rest 2 days at home and then I spend 7 days in my grandparents' house.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what do you usually do, for example, on your grandparents' house when you are?
I just said many times, but I say back. That is, I think that I will visit them and hopefully that I will have some good memories and some good trips.
Mm. Okay, okay, very nice. And can you please tell me, okay, what, for example, you want to take a rest, or are you going to some other trips? Would you like to go to, for example, to some other trips just to see? Uh, so what do you think?
I think that just stays at my grandparents' house since it will very cold and very dry.
Mhm. Okay. And can you please tell me, okay, what else can you do, for example, when there is cold weather? What else can you do?
I think that yeah, the weather is very very bad, but I think that I will try. But I think that after the 10th holiday, I will say to you about the 10th. Since this is all the prediction. I don't know what happens.
Mhm. Okay. Now, okay, so we can start. Okay, now we have here interesting material that I want to ask you. Okay, we have here in the okay, our material is about extreme weather. Okay,
Extreme weather.
I want to compare extreme weather, for example, in your country that you're having, for example, in your country and in my country. Uh, So I know some things about your country, about a humid, about some things. I know these things, but can you give me more details about the weather? When is the worst weather, for example, in your country? Can you please tell me when, for example, is the worst weather in your country? When there is a worst weather in your country, so what is something that you usually do when there is a bad weather?
Okay, so I think that the two of the most dangerous weather in Vietnam is the thunderstorm and flood.
Mm-hmm.
Thunderstorm and flood. So I think that the central of Vietnam is is the part that receives most flood in the entire Vietnam. Yeah, the flood in central is very bad, but I think that people will try and have some better options.
Mm-hmm.
You know that flood water is very disgusting. We don't
Yes,
know
I
what
know.
it's made from. Maybe it has some things. I have to say that some things, but it gets worse. We don't know what things are in there. It's super dirty. And it can cause animals to die, thousands of crops dead, people
Mm-hmm.
dead, people, not people dead, or a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is the type of the weather that is quite bad. Okay, and what other what and why, for example, in your country you have so much flood? You know, what is happening? Can you please tell me why do you have so much flood in your country? Why is that?
I don't know. I just know that there is a lot of flood, but I still don't know the reason why.
Mhm. Okay, and what is something, for example, that people can do for if they want, for example, to protect their homes and everything else when there is a flood?
I think that I can give you three situations, no, three periods of time when the bad weather happens. First is before the weather. When you see the radio, you can hear there is a thunderstorm, an earthquake. of a flood or any of the bad weather, even the tsunami. So before that, the first is listen to radio regularly to know which, where, when, and why it happens. A second is that you have to store a lot of food, drinks, and emergency plans for at least 7 days. For at least 7 days or even more. And food, water, electricity, battery, radio, medicine, yeah, for at least 7 days. So during the weather, first is you have to set your home. But if there's flood, you have to go like to find a new location, some place dry, and use the things wisely, because we don't know how long it is. We have to save as much as possible. And after that, first is clean up everything. You clean up everything, and also listen to the radio. And don't use the things that are dirty, like food and water. And if it's super emergency, you know that your life is the best thing. You have to lift back the things. You're not at planes. When planes have a crash, we will lift back the backpack. See, life is the most important thing. Life is the most important thing. But and all of the others can be made later. So at every construction site, in Vietnam, that they will have a sign that said that safety is all. Every construction site have that. Yeah, that are 3 periods of time during a thunderstorm or some bad weather. That I want to show you that how to like deal with it.
Okay, so this is okay. This is something that can be really, let's say, really important. And how about thunderstorms? Okay, how often, for example, in your city do you have thunderstorms? How often this happened?
So wait. How many thunderstorm in Hanoi or in Vietnam? In Hanoi or in Vietnam?
It doesn't matter. For example, in Hanoi, let's try in Hanoi.
Okay, so Vietnam is predicted to face 5 or 6 storms in 2023, among 11 to 13 tropical depressions and storms in the South China Sea region in 2023.
Okay, so this is also that something that happened. Yeah, because in my country we don't have the last time that we used to have flood. Okay, so the last time that there was a flood, it was in 2014. So 10 years ago. 10 years ago, the big okay, we used to have a flood, and after that we didn't have anything that is like that. So basically we decided, for example, to in our country we have a lot of rivers, but we don't have seas. We are continental country, so we don't have any sea or oceans or something like this around our country. So we don't have in this way we don't have many floods. And okay, also we don't have volcanoes. Also we don't have earthquakes. I cannot remember last time that we used to have an earthquake. I cannot remember. It was in our region, but not in my country. In our region, we felt just a little bit bad. Okay, now and it was just a little bit bad. Okay, now and nothing special. Okay, and how about earthquakes in your country? Are they nice? What do you think about earthquakes, for example, in your country? So what is your opinion about this? are they common? What is happening with earthquakes?
In Vietnam, it's rarely have earthquakes because it's not near the edge of the tectonic plates.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that you heard about tectonic plates once, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's not near the edge of the tectonic plates, like in Japan. So we don't have earthquake as common as Japan. Japan have I think that have to deal with 1,500 earthquakes per year. So 3 earthquakes per day. Because it's next to the tectonic plates. And you know that why the tectonic plates work? I think that now I can explain to you why there is earthquakes. First, most of the earthquakes happen near the tectonic plates. And the tectonic plates is a thing. You know that the earth is not fully flat and smooth. It consists of a lot of bricks. And that bricks creates some very big, like, you know that about an egg, I think that when you use a force to it, that it cracks. And one of that cracks parts is called a tectonic plate if we use X as the Earth model. And the tectonic plate is always being moved because of the lava under them. And an average tectonic plate that is moves about 2 or 10 centimeters per year. Not much, but because they are super near to each other, earthquake can still happen. So if we caught like wait, I don't know what okay, so if we caught like I think that if we caught a notebook as a earth, 2 notebooks at 2 tectonic plates, which means that our house is as small as sand. Yep. So when 2 tectonic plates move, there is a small chance that they will hit each other. But the lava under them is still pushing forward each other. And at some time, the force will be enough to break the system in the ground, making earthquakes happen. So that's why the nearer the country is in the tectonic plates, the more earthquakes they have to receive. Which means that Vietnam is having rare earthquakes. Right now in history, I only heard about 3 earthquakes. But in Japan, as I said earlier, they have to host 1,500 earthquakes per year, which means that they have to receive about an average of 3.5 earthquakes per day. They are super near the tectonic plates. So I think that living in Vietnam, in conclusion, I think that living in Vietnam is very lucky among some other countries because we don't live near tectonic plates, and a lot more reasons.
Yes, I have a friend. He's living right now is in Vietnam. He's living in Ho Chi Minh City, and he used to tell me something that is for my point of view. I'm speaking about my point of view. Something that can be good, and it is good. For example, I know that your country, you don't have a lot of cold winters. Let's say cold winters. You only have, for example, 2 seasons, spring and summer.
No.
No.
It's in Ho Chi Minh City. It's in south. I have to correction this. It's south. In south, it only has 2 seasons: wet and dry. They don't have winter, only wet and dry. But in the north, that's where I am living. It consists of full 4 seasons: spring, summer, the spring, the summer, the autumn, and the winter. So the question is, the north and central have 4 seasons, but the south only has 2. Now the south only has 2.
So, in your opinion, what do you think? What is better to have? For example, because you're living in Vietnam, so what do you think? What is better for yourself, living in a, for example, I'm not. I'm not saying I'm asking you about the weather, not about the place. I'm asking you, let's say, which weather suits you more. Okay, is this, for example, the weather in the south, where is Ho Chi Minh City, for example, or the weather in Hanoi? So which part suits you more?
Which card? What?
Part,
Can you say again?
okay, which part suits you more? Which climate suits you more? Climate in Ho Chi Minh City or climate in Hanoi? So what is better for you? What is something that can be better for you?
I think that better for me is probably the climate that fits to me. I think that is the warm weather, since that is not too much, not too cold, and it's like not very bad.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and why do you think so? Why?
Yeah, I think that the main reason for this is uh, I don't know. Maybe that I just like the warm weather.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, let's see. And how about in Da Nang? I'm familiar with Da Nang. So how is the weather, for example, in Da Nang? When you go to Da Nang, how is the weather there?
Um, but the well weather right now that is very cool, and it's not very cold. It's at 27 degrees right now, and the humidity is 82%, and the wind is only 10 kilometers per hour. So I think that Da Nang is I think that it's having also a name. It's called like I think that the best place to live if you're in Hanoi, if in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm. And why, for example, is the best place? You mentioned that. Would you like, for example, someday in the future, would you like to move there? Would you like, for example, do you think that you can live in this city? So what do you think? To go there to live in this part of the city, would you? Can you do something like this? Can you think that, for example, you can live in this part of the city, or in this city in Da Nang?
I think that I might can. I think that I would like to live in Da Nang when I'm a grown up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and why? Why, for example, you would like to live there? What is the reason?
I think that is called a must live city, but I don't know why. I just heard people that are saying that.
Okay. Now, and what other climates, for example, are common in Asia, and what common natural disasters are common in Asia? So, can you please tell me what are some common disasters? Okay, natural disasters that, for example, are also common. I heard about typhoons. I heard about heavy rains. So, can you guide me and tell me something more about this? About heavy rains, about all of these things. Can you please tell me something more about this?
About the rain in Vietnam.
Yes.
No, I don't have any knowledge about these geographic topics, so I can't explain. Yeah.
Okay. And do you feel, for example, I want to ask you, do you feel, for example, scared of earthquakes or other natural disasters? How do you feel, for example, when you mentioned that every day you have, for example, 3 earthquakes? So how do you feel? Tell me about your feelings. How do you feel when there is, for example, earthquake?
Earthquake is a very bad thing, but we can't change it. So I think that we can just reduce the consequence. It's we just reduce the damage. It's the dam is a dam is happening, but right now that I don't see that the scientists are now they're like trying to make a house that can deal with earthquakes, but it's still in process. So I don't know. Maybe that I can see it in the future.
Okay. And yes, and how about changing countries, for example, to live in some other countries that are not related to your country? I'm saying, for example, can you imagine, not Australia, we already spoke about Australia. So can you imagine, for example, that you are living, let's say, in Europe, in my country? So what do you think about this?
What do I think about it?
Yes, for example, to change completely country where you live. Okay, so we have here let's say this type of the country. Okay, so for example, to come to live in Europe, to come to live, for example, in Germany, to Austria, for example, to Switzerland, to Scandinavia, for my country, for example, Greece, or some other countries that are in Europe. So what do you think about this?
Wait, can you say again? Wait, I don't understand.
Okay, so what do you think about living in some other country that is not related to your country? That means I'm asking you, can you consider, for example, that you can live in some other country, like Serbia, like Germany, like England? Did you ever consider, did you ever think about this idea that you can live in this kind of countries?
So I think that I personally think that the first thing that is very hard is probably the languages. The language. Since that you don't know the language, you visit a country where nobody speaks your language that you're spoken. It's very hard. Next thing is the traditional. For example, in Korea, eating that you make noises. When you're eating, you make noises. That means you eat is very good, and chefs and cookers will feel very happy. But in Vietnam, when you eat and you make noise, especially loud noise, the people who eating with you is very angry, since you make noises and nobody like that. As you can see, the tradition is different. And we have to deal with this by learning the traditions first. Next up is we have nobody to depend on. Unless you go on a tour or anything, or if you got bored, you have nobody except you. You have to depend to yourself. Yeah, I think that are the three things that that makes the living in some not related countries can be hard. The languages, the traditional, and the loneliness.
Tradition.
Tradition and loneliness. Yeah, loneliness.
Okay, I'm asking you this question because, for example, my friend is living in Vietnam, like I mentioned, in Ho Chi Minh City. Okay, but he's not using Vietnamese language. He's using English language, and I think you can also I listened very carefully what you said. I think that you can also, for example, if you move, let's say this is just opinion. If you move, for example, to Serbia, you can speak English without any problems because people can understand what you're saying. So the language is not the problem. Okay, tradition, yes, maybe tradition is the problem, but the language is not the problem. Because a lot of people in my country, they are speaking English, so you will not have a problem. And one more thing that I want to ask you, okay, about. I want you to explain me. You mentioned that there is tradition. I will send you a picture of my friend, and I want you to tell me about his clothes. Okay, so there you go. This is the picture of my friend and his wife. She's as you can see, she's in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell me about more details about his clothes? Okay.
His clothes, okay, I know about this clothes. This cloth, if I translate that into English, word by word, is the long skirt. and called it a skirt. But both the male and female can wear them, and especially teachers. When they wear them, it look very polite, very beautiful. In 10th holiday, people also wear this, especially adults. And children also wear it too, but not too much. And this, you see, it's very polite, right? It's very polite. And it's very beautiful too. This cloth, I think that it represents, this is a cloth that represents Vietnam, except the flower, the lotus flower I said in the previous class. But when talking about the famous clothes, this is I think that's called number one, since that it looked very polite and it's also beautiful.
Okay, so this is something that can be really, really nice and really beautiful. And what does this represent? Okay, can you please tell me what is something that this clothes represent? Okay, we can see it's like some animal. Dragon.
Yeah, it's a dragon, and this year is the dragon year in Vietnam calendar. 12. There are 12 animals that represent like a 12-year cycle. And this year is the dragon. And as you can see, the dragon is represent the strength. The strength, and it can fly, which means that all the dreams that they put into this dragon, which means that the hopeness and the strength is what the dragon represent for. And also the red. In Vietnam traditions, red is a color that resembles the lucky, the richness, and the healthy. So this cloth with red is the best combo, and among with some dragons, is the perfect clothes to wear at the holiday.
Okay. Okay, so you mentioned that the red represent okay,
lucky, the luck, okay. the luck, the richness, and the happy. That's why that they put the money in the red envelope.
Okay, and do you have, for example, some colors that represent something else? Okay, you mentioned black, but do you have some colors that represent, for example, when someone is sad or something like this? Do you have?
If red is for lucky, black is for unlucky, and the poverty, the unlucky, and I think that the black is the color that it resembles the lucky, unlucky, and the poverty. That's why that, as you can see, that nobody's like eating a kind of food that is black, since that they believe that it will be unlucky all the years.
Okay, I think that I understand what you want to say. Okay, very nice. And can you tell me something more? Okay, I just want to cover this topic. Okay, I saw some pictures. I'm not so sure, but I saw some pictures about, for example, when there is a Vietnamese wedding. Yeah. Now, can you tell me what is happening? What is happening, for example, when there is a Vietnamese wedding? Okay, so what is happening? Let's say in this when there is a day, when how does it start? What is happening in this kind of things? Can you please tell me? So, for example, when the day start. Okay, let's go.
First, before if they're wedding, they have to have a marriage registration. Yep, this thing that is a proof to make sure that they have enough old. Because in Vietnam, if you want to have a wedding, the man have to be more than 20, and women have to be more than 18. Yep, and they have to be that enough age. Next one is they have to have a marriage, the registration, and after that people will have a party to celebrate this. The money to celebrate it in a husband's house, and there is some tradition that is the girl will say goodbye to her parents to go to the husband's house. Yeah, the girl will say goodbye to parents because they have to live with each other. So they have to say goodbye to the parents and move into a like a luxury car that they will go to the that they will go to the husband's house. And once arrives, it's not done yet. That the next one is the husband's house will have some gifts for the girl, maybe gold or anything that is for luxury. And the next thing is both both pairs will read an article about the wedding. Read an article about the wedding, and I think that they will have some articles. First is why do we love each other, or the next thing is the feeling from both sides. Why are they choose to marriage? And after that, they will eat a cake. It's super tall, super big cake that they will cut it in order to make sure that they are now after this that are completely after that second they become a husband and a wife. Yep, it's very complicated.
Wow. Okay. I heard it very, very carefully. Okay, so this is really, really, like you mentioned, it's really complicated. Okay, and why, for example, okay, so this is the tradition. Okay, we have some traditions like this, but not so much. Some traditions that depends. For example, which part of the country do you visit? Okay, so because I'm living in the north part, as like yourself, you're living in north part in Hanoi. Okay, so the customs are pretty much different here. For example, celebration in the south part lasts for 3 days, for 3 whole days. Here is 1 day or 1 night, and that's it. Nothing else. And after that, probably people go to the honeymoon on a honeymoon, and after this when they finished with honeymoon, okay, they came back and continue. But in the south part is completely different, because a lot of people go for example and celebrate like yeah, and they celebrate for a really, really long period of time. And they need, this is interesting, one interesting custom that the people have. This is, for example, when they want to they offer, this is like, okay, I don't want to say like a joke, but look like a joke. This is, for example, they do something like give money to relatives. They call like they want to buy the bride. They want to buy the bride to them, and this is something. What do they do? And so, do you have any other customs, for example, after the wedding, after celebrations? Okay, do you have any other customs?
Yeah, of course, it's the honeymoon. 1 week. They have 1 week of completely private. They can choose what countries they want to visit, and they can do whatever they want in the honeymoon. It's like yeah, I think that the honeymoon is already like very popular. That I think that some pairs decided to have a honeymoon right after the wedding, which is not wrong at all. Yep, and I think that that all after that is very normal.
Okay, so this is something, and what do you do, for example, when baby arrives, or when something something happens when, for example, baby arrives, or what is something that you usually do? Okay, not you. What is something that, for example, what is the custom when, for example, baby arrives to the family? What are the customs in this situation?
No, they don't have any custom for this.
No customs, no giving some gifts or something like this.
Maybe if they like that, I can just celebrate something. But in reality, there's no. It all depends. I think that it all depends on the parents. We can't handle this.
Okay. Now, okay. So this is the topic that I want to cover, and I want to cover with you hopes and dreams. Okay. So what are your hopes and what are your dreams?
About my hope and dreams, I don't have any hope and dream right now.
Okay, but what is something that you're hoping that will happen, for example, in the future? What is something that can happen in the future? Okay, so what is something that you would like to see that is happening in the future?
I can't predict this. Maybe that I will try and imagine about this, but right now that I don't have any ideas.
Okay. Okay, now let's see. And how about the dreams? Do you have something that you want to become or you want to do?
I want to do.
Do you have some dreams, for example, something that you would like to do it? Okay, you never done it so far, but you want to do it.
No, I don't have any ideas about this.
Okay, and can you describe, for example, your dream house? Okay, something that is related with your dreams. Okay, so how would you, for example, what would you like to put in your dream house?
My dream hub. I think that we have literally automatically everywhere. Yep. Okay. But that also makes me feel lazy. Because if we don't do exercises, like our eyes and our hands will get bad. It gets worse, and at some point we will completely depend on the robot. So we literally can't walk. It is all automated. So automatically is good, but at some point it will become bad, since we have to do that yourself in order to keep the body that in a good place.
Okay, and try to describe your home. Okay, so for example, try to tell me something that you're having in your home right now. Okay, can you try, for example, to describe your bedroom? What do you have in your bedroom? Can you please tell me?
In the bedroom?
In your bedroom, yes. What do you have, for example, in your bedroom? What is something that you have in your bedroom? Can you describe it about furniture that you're having in your bedroom?
I think it's pretty normal.
Can you describe it?
Yeah, you just have a bed, a toilet, a shower, a bath, or like a massage machine that I can use to relax.
Okay, so now let's try. Okay, let's try to use your imagination. Okay, now let's try like this. So what is something that you, for example, you would like to change in your room? Is there anything? Is there anything that you would like to change in your room?
No, I don't have any ideas about how I change. It's already pretty good. I don't have to change anything.
Okay, and how about, for example, your home? In your home where you live, do you live in apartment or do you live in a house?
I think I live in an apartment.
Okay, so what do you think? What is better to where is better to live? In a in apartment or in a building, in your opinion? Tell me pros and cons. Pros are good things living in apartment. And we have here some bad things living in apartment. Okay, so now let's try to tell me, okay, about pros and cons living in apartment.
Why don't I want to live in an apartment?
Okay, try. Okay,
try.
Yes, try to describe it.
Yeah. So if I live like in a 1-floor house, it will be very big, and according to my calculations, it should be about 100 meters squared in size. And that's the average because I don't want my house too big, and I like also want to have a lot of rooms or a lot of bedrooms for anyone that want to rent it, so I can make some extra money. Yeah, and that is all because my imagination isn't very good. I can only imagine about that.
Okay, and what do you think about good and bad things living in a house? Okay, so I just want to see, for example, if you live in a house, for example, in Vietnam, so what are some good and bad things of living in a house?
Living in a house. I talk about living in a 1-floor house. That if I want to live in an apartment, I think that apartment is only a 1-floor house, so it's not matter.
But try to think what is something that can be bad and what is something that can be good. For example, if you're living in a house. Okay, so what is something that can be bad? For example, you're living in a house, and what is bad about this? What can be bad?
What can be bad?
What can be? It's not so good when you're living.
I think about the bricks elevator. Do you know that when an elevator breaks during when it's doing its thing, how bad it is? Right?
Okay. Can you describe a little bit more?
So when there is some situations where the elevator is just doing their own thing and then it stops and breaks. So we have some emergency plan when doing that. First is we have to save save the oxygen inside, since that is all in place. It's all in a place. It's all, I think that is to have nowhere that the people can have enough oxygen. So as you can see, we have to save oxygen, and if there are loads of people in there, people will breathe more and will completely running out of oxygen.
Okay.
And the next thing is there is the yellow button that having a bell in them. This is an emergency plan that even it don't use electricity. So in case it breaks, it can still connect it to the outside. And the next one is to like a shout, because people outside can see and try to rescue. Shout or push a door, or don't try to break a door, but just open the, I think that the open button. That's the open button.
Okay. Yes, and this is all about apartment. Is that right? You mentioned about apartment.
Yeah. This when I haven't I think that I haven't do that before, but this is my knowledge about how to like rescue in a broken elevator in case you're inside.
Okay, so for example, if we think about something like this, okay, so it is more convenient, for example, to live in a house, because you don't need elevator. You're living in a house, so you don't need elevator. Okay, yes, one of these things, because I used to live in apartment. This apartment was 10th floor. One of the biggest buildings in area where I used to live, not in the whole city, but one of the biggest. And when, for example, the power is out or when the elevator is broken, so I need to walk the 10 floors.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of the problems. Okay, yes, this is something that can be bad about apartments. Okay, and how about something that is bad about houses? Okay, so what is
Houses.
when you have a house? What?
I think that the house and the apartment don't have much difference. It's just you live in another floor. Yep, and the oxygen is much more rare. I know that you know that this morning in Vietnam, a blank fog completely ruined the people's day. I don't know, but if I can't, I can try to take a photo, but I don't bring my phone at that point. But it's a super foggy that I think that my view that reduced to about 4 meters. And you know that 5 students have to stay at home. 5 students, the fog is not just air. It consists of many parts like methane or carbon dioxide. Yeah, it's fog is very dangerous. So 5 students have to stay at home because of the sickness.
Okay, so this is also one of the things that people should stop. Okay, and yes, and what are good things about, for example, living in a house? Okay, so we spoke about bad things. We have here good things. So what are some bad things about house?
Wait, can you say again?
Good things. Sorry, good things about house. Living in a house. What are some good things about, for example, if people want to live in a house? What is something that can be good?
Something can be good. If you live in a house first, is it can easy to access without having to wait for the elevator. Second thing that is I think that the only advantage is to in and out. All of the basic things are the same.
Okay, and what do you think about bad things? Okay, for example, if the house is much bigger than apartment, I suppose that one house can be much bigger. Okay, so you need a lot of time, for example, to take care of all of these things that you have around your house. You need all the time. You need to clean your house. Okay, as apartment, but you have yard. Probably you have yard. You have a lot of things that you need to take care of. Okay, so this is something also that you need to do it. Now, so what do you think about cleaning the house or cleaning the apartment? In your opinion, what do you think? What is worse? What is bad? Cleaning the house or cleaning the apartment?
I think that cleaning a house in a apartment is bad is worse.
Okay, and why do you think so? I want you to give me more details.
I think that is just my guesses.
Okay, but based on what? Okay, yes, those are your guesses, but based on what? Or based on what do you have these guesses? So why do you think so?
I don't know. It's just my guesses. So.
Okay, so this is something that can help you, for example, okay, around the house. Okay, and what else people should do, for example, around the house? Okay, what other activities people should do when they're moving around the house? Okay, so what do you think?
Living around a house. Wait,
Yes.
can you say again?
What people should do, for example, what is all day the old days? Okay, so what people should do, for example, if they are living in the house every day, what they need to do every day if they are living in a house? What is something that people should do every single day? What do they do? What they need to do?
What they need to do?
Every single day. What is something that people should do every single day? For example, if they are living in the house, so what is something that they should do every day?
The thing that people should do every day, in my opinion, is clean the house.
Okay. Do you find is this difficult? Is this hard? So what do you think?
I think that I find it's very normal.
Okay. Why do you think so?
I find is normal. It's because that it's very normal since that you have to clean your house every day. Otherwise, it will look like a trash. It will look like it's trashy, and it can stop people from being lazy since they don't know it. That they can easily make the house dirty, and then they can give it a lesson.
Really nice answer. Okay, and now, and what do you think? Why it's much harder when people want to clean the house, and why is it's much easier to clean an apartment? Okay, so what do you think? Why, for example, it's really easy to clean the house, and it's really easier to clean the apartment comparing to the let's say to the buildings. So why do you think so? What do you think? Why, for example, it's much easier, for example, for you to clean the apartment instead of the house?
Instead of the house.
So why, for example, it's really hard if you want to clean the house? Why this is harder comparing to the apartment?
This is hard compared to the apartment. I think that because no, I don't have any guesses right now.
Do you think, for example, house is bigger? What do you think about this?
I think that if it's bad, if it takes more time, is probably it's because of the size of the house. I can't complain anything.
Okay, very nice. Okay, so we can stop here, but I just want to ask you about tomorrow's day. Okay, yeah. So you will go to your grandparents' day. No, is that right?
I will stay at home for 2 days first.
2 days. Why? Why?
No, because my parents still have to go for work. So I have to stay at home.
So you will stay at home. Okay, very nice. And what activities are you going to do? Something with your brother. So what activities are you going to do?
About the activities. Activities I want to do. No, I don't have any right now.
Okay. Okay, very nice. Okay, that was really nice. Okay, I can say that I enjoyed today. Everything was really nice and smooth as always. I wish you a happy Tet holiday for you and your family. I wish you all the best, and take a really nice break, and see you in 2 weeks approximately, maybe more. Okay.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye bye. Bye bye.